one you find on the ground.
Yeah.
In the parking lot.
Oh yeah, I have one for you.
Oh, it's under my
Tap
car.
those mics.
Check.
Hello.
Yo,
Check.
Check,
Hello.
check.
Is this thing on?
Check. 1 2
Only
1 2
Corey
1 2
knows.
check. Check 1 2
Let's
1
go,
2.
Barbie.
So-
Let's go, Barbie.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Oh, I love you, Ken. Hello. I didn't mean that personally, Ken. I don't love you.
You meant to say that telepathically.
Okay, Zach. Shit. Okay.
I'm allowed to have fun.
Fun is not allowed here. Hello. All right. How are we doing? Can't tell because I'm smiling really big, but. All right. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Yo.
Fantastic.
So to my left, I got Corey, and then I got Mr. Brito right here, and myself, Abel, doing a table of 3 here at Trailside Saloon. First things first, we're here part of a show. So we got Max Fame here. It's gonna be kicking things off. Got Justified Torture, and then also some Human Paint. And who else do we have? Well, where's the list? That's the only 3 I knew. Was it?
You're asking good questions. We just need the answers. That's all.
Well, it didn't say on the event page.
That's it. That's all. I guess that's all then.
Okay.
You named them all. You're good.
Okay, great.
So come down. Come party
How
with
the
us.
heck is everybody doing? I mean, it's been so long since I've seen you. I mean, I see you sometimes, when we can, but,
It's good to see you.
I just met you.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll see you soon again.
Yeah.
But y'all been good or what?
Yeah, I mean, living that 2020 life,
Yeah,
Just reminiscing before COVID, BC.
living the Rona life.
That's
we
really
all
where
know.
it's at.
Yeah,
But-
for sure.
Yeah.
On the upside, though, things have still been going on here at Trailside. Mr. Zach keeping things alive here, keeping people coming through the door. It's really nice. We got some people in here tonight.
Hell yeah.
If you're around the North Denver area, you should come out and come mess around with us.
Trailside Saloon. Show up. Show
Where
out.
it's at.
So
it's-
what should we kick things off with here? What are we feeling? We want to talk about the music life still? What's going on with local bands?
Well, I'd just like to say that it's been awesome to have this be like an oasis. I know it's not, your typical show, but it's still been awesome to come and see live music, hang out with friends, see friends occasionally,
100%.
Meet people.
and to keeping it alive. And you
Exactly.
performed, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I performed 2 weeks ago, and then I did another one back in July.
How were those
So,
shows?
they were amazing. It was a little bit smaller than this, actually. I'm happy to see that things are starting to build up now. But it's it's amazing being here, especially at Trailside. I haven't found a place quite like it just yet. So it's unique in its own aspect.
It's very unique.
Yeah.
I always want to say something else after that, but then I can never find the words, and it's just it's just as unique as fuck, man. But yeah, that's dope.
So had you performed with any of those other acts before that night? Did you know those guys?
No, honestly, I hadn't prior hand. I met a lot of people through here, though, that I've connected with and continued on. Onesie Hip Hop, for instance.
Yeah.
It's one of the big guys that I've connected with. MC Slurred, who's also
Yeah.
connected with him. Just little
Dope.
artists working with them. Other people like Abel. And just keeping in the loop with them and just always knowing that there's artists who are serious about their craft enough to come out, show off what they got, and continue bettering themselves. So that's what I've definitely found here, at least. I don't know about you guys, but that's on the hip hop end. What about more like towards the rock and metal end?
That's why I asked, because this has always been a great breeding ground for making connections and making new
conversing just with
relationships.
other people. So
making friends and meeting great bands and seeing great talent come through. So that's why I was curious if it was on the same on that end, because I'm not too involved with the hip hop. I go to shows here and there.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that works in that community. A little bit.
But yeah, so that's actually really awesome. My only thing though, and I've been meaning to ask people who are in more of the rock and metal community about this, is the Colorado hip hop community. Sorry, everybody. The Colorado hip hop community.
It's okay.
We covered it up for you. Has really shown that there's been not a lot of teamwork and not a lot of a community in sense that I've noticed. Artists like Input from Colorado, Denver specifically. I told you guys about him a little bit earlier.
You were saying something about that. I want to hear some more about that.
There's a lot of things that I've noticed, even myself as an artist, and I understand there's this difference between kind of being a wannabe and being mediocre artist and then actually trying to climb the levels. And I've seen a lot of people serious about it who are just slept on, if you will. And I'm trying to figure out if that's a whole Colorado thing or if that's the hip-hop Colorado community thing that needs to be focused on. Because before, and using SoundCloud as like the first platform, I don't know what you guys did.
I would say SoundCloud was like the biggest one, probably.
Yeah, because you post your music up free and stuff, and you get free followers, and you get free publicity from it.
It was SoundClick before that, which is weird.
I never knew that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. SoundClick. But before I even hit 100 followers, I already had people writing not only diss tracks about me, but going out and saying that I had been lying to people and dissing them and that I wasn't a real artist. Before I had even known these people, they just heard my music once and gave up. And I thought that was interesting because it wasn't just me, but 3 other artists that I knew who are predominantly small, if you will, were in the same situation. And it was all hip-hop.
Sure.
But I don't know if I've seen that from any rock band that I know so far. Do you guys have any experience to talk about, like, in that similar realm, where you guys have just been shut down without even being listened to?
I want to say yes and no. I mean, it also just depends, like, what kind of area you're into. Because I've noticed in Denver, like, there's just so many acts. You know, I feel like you hear more music and stuff like that. But, like, in smaller areas, like even in, like, West Colorado, North Colorado, I've heard some, you know, bands, like, just not being really liked out there. Like, their music was just very indifferent. And it was still on, like, a metal realm kind of, like, you know, a genre somewhat. But, like, once those bands, like, came to Denver, even in the beginning of this year and the end of last year, there was a lot of bands from Fort Collins coming down here. And it was like, where have these guys been, you know? But up there, they're not really known, and people don't really, you know, talk to them that much.
Yeah. Is that flack that they're getting from fans and possible people, or is it from other bands itself?
No, I think it's just from, like, fans, really. You know, and I don't really think, like, I think it just depends because how the bands are. Like, you'll notice that some bands are, like, all in their own little clique, you know. So, like, if they hear something, they usually brush it off kind of easily. But for the most part, I've been seeing more bands coming out of the North and the South and coming up here and being more diverse with people and, like, meeting more people and getting more connections out there, and them getting more opportunity, which is really, really nice.
That's awesome. So just
but not so much on the negative side, I don't think.
Yeah, because the one thing that I've noticed is kind of what I've been doing recently is just reaching out to artists, kind of doing shows like this, just trying to build connections and just build friendships and stuff like that. And I come from the battling scene more than I come from the performance scene. So I'm used to I'm going to say everything I can, including about your mom and about this and about that. But at the end of the day, no matter who wins, I still shake your hand, pat you on the back, and we settle it. Because that was just, in the moment, it's just seeing who can come up with the wittiest, most destructive roast that you can possibly come up with.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's interesting because I don't think that we really see that too much where other artists are going public about other artists in a negative
Yeah.
connotation. But, you know, there's not that aspect of that, you know, live battle, you know, it's a completely different game. So I think if it's, you know, if anything bad is said, you know, on in the metal scene or something, it's not public. It's just what goes around, what people are saying, you know, but it's never like a public attack. I think the only time there's ever anything mentioned publicly about another band or one artist from another one is the, you know, them promoting, you know, each other, not tearing them down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's still kind of rare as well. Like there's more bands doing it now, I feel like, which is great, especially now in this time.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
We definitely got to support each other to make this whole thing work.
Yeah.
You know, so that's been great. But yeah, as far as like that, but then again, like I wish other people were saying my band name. At least that's, you know, a couple other people that are publicly
right.
Any
saying
publicity
it,
is
you
good
know?
publicity.
Yeah, like, hey, if
Yeah,
nobody's-
you know?
if nobody's pumping us up. Hey,
Yep.
if somebody wants to go out there and tear us down or remind people that we're still out there,
Yeah.
be my guest.
Yeah,
So
for real.
clarifying on that, because it's one thing from the fans and it's another thing from that, and I like that you guys clarified that. What about now, instead of focusing on the hate, just not even being paid attention to? Like, there have been many times where I've tried to work with artists, whether it be at these battling scenes or whether I just meet them through any third-party get-together, and I say, yo, give me your connections, I'll give you yours, in a sense that I know a couple people that are doing live shows like this, and I have more than interest in letting you be heard. And they'll go, yeah, I want you to do the same, and then I never hear from them again. Is there a lot of support in the metal bands scene in the sense that like people are like, yo, this spot is the spot you want to go to when you're starting off, and this is a spot that's a little bit more big? Or is it more like, oh, do your own research, gone?
No. And I think a lot of bands out here especially when they're first starting out, are trying to do things kind of fast. Or from what I've noticed, growing up in Texas, I feel like there was a lot of early backbone work that people were doing to like really get their name out there, and like doing a lot of careful searching versus just trying word of mouth, you know.
Yeah.
But out here, I feel like there's a lot of people who have really good connections, and they see that, and they see what they do, and if you act on it, and you know, I think it's either going to be now or never kind of thing. So yeah, I think if you don't do it right away, then it shows more about you, you know.
Yeah.
But
Agreed on that.
Yeah, I think that you know, it's really just the individuals that make up the band. If they're willing to be outgoing and go and make those connections,
and most of them aren't.
Yeah, a lot of them aren't. Like it seems like, well, I wouldn't say a lot of them, but you know, the majority of I think most groups they kind of keep to themselves. So you'll see like, you know, certain shows like it's kind of cliquey, you know, like it's just whoever they are, like they're from a certain town and they bring their crowd, and nobody goes and talks to anybody else. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you know, they're not getting that. You know, they're not looking for that. You know, but I think if they do open up and you know are willing to make those connections, I think typically it's usually met with you know positive retort, for lack of a better word.
Sure. But yeah, it's a very progressive kind of feel, especially like coming here. I've learned how to be a little bit more like diverse and like see what other people use, not even in the same genre, not even a band or a rapper, you know, acoustic artists. You know, you see how people kind of get their stuff out there simple, but then there's also people doing something that you didn't think of that's a lot different. But yeah, there's a lot of good diversity going on right now, especially here, and I love it.
Hell yeah. So, as for the diversity as well as what you're talking about, like in Texas, the kind of marketing you guys would see, there's a certain aspect to like, you're not going to be heard if you raise your voice, or you're going to be heard if you raise your voice, but you're not going to be heard if you keep your mouth closed.
Right.
Exactly.
So you've got a band that has multiple members in it. How many do you guys usually expect out of that group to actually go out and be like, hey, come to our show and stuff like that? Do you expect all of them to do it, or do you guys expect some of them to do it? Or is it like one person out of the group is really the marketer and everybody else just kind of follows suit?
You'll kind of find out real quick, right? Like,
Yeah.
usually who's really good at it and stuff. And I mean, once you build a good curve with those members, you know, you kind of just need to find how to scratch each other's back in another way if you don't do it that way
Okay.
with each other. Because I think everyone like pulls their weight. As long as they're doing that, then you should be totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the group of guys too, or group of individuals.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been in the gamut of different bands that have different aspirations. You know, some bands are just there to jam on the weekends, you know, and play whatever comes to them, and not much output is given.
Yeah.
But then there's other bands where it's like everybody's locked in. It's more of a business mindset, and
Yeah.
you know. So again, it's just kind of the individual going into it, understanding like, what are you trying to get out of this experience?
Yeah.
What is the band you're in? Are you trying to do this? But I think typically there's maybe 1 to 3 people that are really outgoing.
That are like zoning in.
Yep.
Okay. So with that being said, 'cause I like your next point that you made. Me as myself, I see myself as a professional like businessman, in the sense that I'm trying to figure out who's my target market, yada yada yada, all the business stuff to it,
Yeah.
along with the music. Where do you guys feel you guys fall in that? Are you guys more like you said, just looking for a good time, looking to do a jam out session and have fun, or are you guys a little bit more like you kind of hope to have a side living off of this?
You know, at first I, you know, really wanted that second part, so make a living and stuff like that. But I mean, that's always gonna come with time. But I know sometimes you have to like play by the rules and like do certain things as a mainstream artist that you don't really get to do.
Yeah.
Especially like owning your own music. That's a very big important thing to me. But sometimes at first it's not, you know. And then there's abilities for you to get your music back and stuff like that if you wanted. But yeah, I think especially with like rapping too, like meeting people and conversing, I feel like kind of what you were saying earlier, you meet more connections and see what they're doing. It's like you kind of help each other out a lot faster, especially finding target points. But I think with bands too, we also find other bands that are like doing what we would like to do. And, you know, if it's fun, you know, we'll kind of stick in that little niche and we won't worry about like making money off of like so many bands that I've played with around here in the past 7 years that I've lived. Like, I wouldn't trade $1 in the world for that, like straight up. Like, I've learned so much from those guys individually, especially you. But yeah, so there's a lot of, I guess, other ways it can pay itself that I've found to try and love more than just, you know, the money, you know.
Nice. What about you?
You know, it's always been a goal, and it still is a goal, to tour the world through music.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's one tour. You know, like, I'll be satisfied if that happens. With that being said, you know, being in multiple bands, you know, I understand this might not be the band that does it. Hopefully it is. And again, it goes back to like where the band is at mentally, you know,
Yeah.
are they on the same page and everybody can do this. And so, shit, I lost it.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, so I'm just, you know, that's the end goal, but I'm just enjoying the ride. You know, hopefully
Right.
that happens.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to learn as much as I can in the experiences that I have.
Knowledge is power, right?
Yeah, and
So-
it's exactly, and trying to pick up as much as I can at the same time. You know, having great experiences with my best friends.
Yeah.
And continuing to grow that list of best friends through meeting new people and playing with them and sharing the stage. Like, met this guy, we shared a stage, and that was the first time we ever met. And like,
For
since
real.
then, like, we've become pretty tight. Like, it was
Yeah.
pretty awesome, and it's cool to have those people that from you know, finding awesome individuals that are super talented. That like, hey, this guy's got an awesome product, you know, as well. And so it works both ways. So it's like, again, end goal, sure. If I could turn on that stream of income, that would be great.
Yeah.
But I'm not focused and like actively pursuing that to be my main source of income
Yeah.
at the moment. Like,
Okay.
you know, to kind of.
There's other priorities in place for.
Yeah, like I know how much work that it's going to take to do that.
Yeah.
And again, having everybody on the same page, turned on, like to go and do that, I think that you have to definitely have everybody 100% on board, you know, to go do that.
Yeah.
Or at least, you know, and then having the right things in place. So,
Okay.
again, just playing with best friends, and
That's why I love this place.
that means more to me
Fucking
than
shit. How many fucking cool people I fucking met here. Sorry to drop the F-bomb, but it was respectfully. But yeah, so yeah, just the relationships, and I mean, also being a fucking guru at what you do, like, to me is more than just the price, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard, but we all, you know, want to say that, yeah, if it came down the line, you know, and we could make, you know, jump into the mainstream, you know, side of things, that would be nice. But I mean, some people don't get really good doing that, you know. They kind of become more money driven and not really, you know, having talent. But some people are good at doing both and, you know, putting a curvature through it, which is really interesting too.
Yeah, I agree to that. So that leads me to my next point. If we've got enough time, I believe. Do
No.
we? Awesome.
Never
I just wanted to
time.
double check. Got you.
we're going until 10.
Hell yeah, we can make it 15. I could go all night. Okay, I'll go all night. Got you.
That was the only reason I put you in the middle.
It's only because I shaved my beard, Eric.
I can't shave mine. If I do, I like.
It grows back faster,
Yeah, it pisses me off.
and then it curls, and it starts going through your nose and through the other nostril.
I'll be chewing food and like bite my beard. I'm like, how did I do that?
Right.
It sucks. So
your next point.
this protected me from COVID.
That's right.
So talking about the serious versus more playful aspect of it,
Word.
I've been trying to find that balance, if you will. That's actually
I
a
feel
song
you.
title. But
Word.
trying to find a balance in the essence of like, I want to make a living doing what I love, but I don't want to lose the passion of it.
Right.
Now, the thing that kind of sounds to me is that as a hip-hop artist who's self-reliant, I produce most of my own stuff that I've been setting up to go out. I've got a few connections, but I'm able to replace them as I need to due to their own livelihoods and schedules, like different producers. I noticed that I can control my pace and how fast I move
Oh, yeah.
because I'm a solo artist in essence. When I get into groups, I notice that kind of mixture of like, I want to be serious, but I've got other people who aren't as serious. Have you guys ever been in that same situation where like maybe you guys were 10 years younger or 5 years younger or something like that, and you guys are just like, I really want to hit this hard and see if maybe I could do that. I'm not getting any younger, I'm not getting any older at the moment. Let's go. And everybody else is just like, dude.
I for sure.
That's
I know exactly what you mean, and that is one thing I've always loved about the rap music and hip hop music out here.
Yeah.
Is that like you kind of need to know how to do both. You need to learn how to compete a little.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta have things like on your right hand that you can spit like right away.
Yep.
But you also need to know how to do your own work, and when you can put your own you know, hard work into it at first, I feel like you make a ground level going, but then after that it's just straight connections, you know.
Yeah.
People need to know, you know, how to like be in front of, you know, a small stage or a big stage, you know, other acts, national acts.
Yeah.
If you can hold your own, you know, and keep a straight face down the line, yeah, most people will take you serious, and that connection will always be there, for
Hell
sure.
yeah. So the part where I was also asking as well, maybe you could
Oh
finish
yeah,
off with
no,
this.
but
Is like,
band stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, when I was younger, I needed to know, like, you know, there was other people in the scene that were like, yo, there's this dude, his name is, you know, such and such, and he does this thing with his voice, and you kind of, you know, do it, but maybe you can do it a little better, you know, or
Yeah.
something, or you should try what he does, you know.
yeah.
And basically, yeah, I learned from that, you know, and kind of just ran with it a little bit, but then
Okay.
started making my own groove. But I think those are things that like really fuel a band to really get them going, versus just sitting around. There's got to be a hype. There's got to be something that I mean, if it's not the riffs, I mean, it's the way he's doing something, you know,
Yeah.
that like makes it exciting.
Something that makes it unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
sounds
got to
like
have
we're on the right
attitude, you know.
Yeah.
That's that's where a lot of shit gets started and creativity comes out. You know, you kind of put that like anger or that like just up build that you have, and then you put it right back onto the mic or your guitar or whatever, and it works for sure.
Hell yeah.
There's been like 4 or 5 times I've gotten things like that. I'm like, oh shit, this guy's doing this, and you know, I gotta learn how to do that a little bit, you know, or something, you know.
It piques your interest, and you're
Yeah,
just you
it
zone
keeps-
in on it.
Right. You know, when you're too much of yourself, sometimes, you know, you don't see your other capabilities that you could probably do like someone else, which is really cool. It's artistic.
Agreed. Sounds
Yeah.
about right. All right. I think that's
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I kind of wanted to talk about too. So that's really good.
Hell yeah. We'll have to pick up later
Um,
after that.
Okay, real quick, I just want to say there's a lot of local bands dropping some new stuff and have already, and it's really exciting. Please go check out all your friends that are struggling, not playing shows and getting their anxiety fucking through the roof. You know, they want to see you and they want you to hear that they're really good at their
Serious.
shit. So
Let's
there's
put
a
some shows.
stage right behind me. You know where to come and do it live and stream it.
Serious.
But yeah, one love.
We still got to make up that.
And seriously,
That
support
Thoughtpilot
them.
return.
Oh yeah, we still got to do
People-
some Thoughtpilot stuff.
Always. And people who are
with Letter 9, the show.
and people who are doing music right now, guys, in the middle of COVID, with all this struggling that's going on financially, fiscally, emotionally, people who are making music about this right now are serious. Your friends that are still working on music when
And
they're going
writing
and
it
working,
for you.
yeah, they're doing it for their family, for their loved ones, and for the love of their craft. Show them support, and for the mental state too. So show them support. We'll talk to you guys later.
Hell yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a good night. Stick around for the show.
Hell
Cheers.
yeah. Peace out, guys. I knew it was mine. I knew that was gonna happen.
My mic. That was tight. Oh yeah, for sure.